Before this video starts, I just want to mention that this is a hunting video. There is footage of a dead deer, and if you don't like that, please click out of this video. I don't want to start an argument with you. Please don't start one with me. This is my lifestyle and how I like to live it. And let's get right into the footage. I left my campus at like 5:30 in the morning, and I showed up to the 600 acres I have permission to hunt. And I walked down a trail, and I had seen a doe a long ways away, like 450 yards. And she walked into the woods down a cut, and I walked farther up the road and sat for a while. I rattled a little bit and I called. I will mention I have no idea what kind of rattle antlers I have. They're synthetic, they're real, like super fake. I have the flex tone call. I don't know if that would help. It works pretty good. It's got a snort wheeze and a bleat and a doe grunt. And I have a inhale exhale from Mad Calls, and I like it because I can differ from both of them and really have a wide variety of what kind of calling I can do. So later in the day, after I'd walked back from the end of the road, I saw what I thought was the same doe. I couldn't see antlers, and I had walked out, looked down the road, and it was movie scripted. She stepped out and her head poked out, threw the backpack down, tried to set up and see if we could see antlers to maybe take a shot. And I set the camera up, couldn't see antlers, and she went into the woods. And I went down that trail, walked to the end, sat on a stump. I ended up spooking the same deer. Ended up spooking the deer into the woods, and sat there for maybe 10-15 minutes and walked out. I then went up to a field, saw some hunters out in the field. They didn't interact with me at all.
Saw me. There's no doubt
I
about
didn't really mind. Didn't really mess anybody's day up, so
No doubt.
And then I met Bill Brown. If you're watching this, man, thank you again. I met him with his dog. He was bird hunting, and he walked me down to the spot where he shot his deer. He walked me to the road, and I continued down the cut and followed his directions to the vicinity of where he shot it, because he said he had jumped a second deer in there. So at this time it's probably 12:30 I'd say, and I walked in. I walked right to a stream, and then I went down to the lake. I sat on the lake for a little bit, just trying to see if I could get my call out there a little bit and maybe call one across to the open. The lake was super low, and I could see a long ways. So, I gave up on that spot, walked into the woods a little ways, and called in there, rattled for a little bit, nothing, and I walked out of that, and I got onto some scrapes. Bill had mentioned them, but I never found them until then, and I don't have it right now, but I put
Deer sense.
premium buck urine on the scrapes, and I had sprayed buck balm on my boots beforehand, and I sprayed it, and I dripped some Denvers on it, and I'd put a drip of Denvers like every 3 feet. I walked up this trail, found another scrape, put a few more drops, and kept doing the drops for a while, and found a shooting lane where I felt comfortable, and I I sprayed a good amount of the buck bomb onto a tree, like a little twig that had been sticking out of the ground, and I dripped a bunch of Denvers around in a circle. Walked maybe 45 yards and sat down on a tree. And I sat down, rattled once, and nothing for a while. And then at 1:09 here, I did a brief catch up with the video.
Found a spot. There's a deer trail right there. We have a skid trail that way. That way as well. There's a scrape right there. So we're gonna sit here for a little bit.
Then at 1:24 or 1:23 a.m. I had rattled, and I heard a stomp on the ground. So I turned my head and I could see the body of a deer behind me, and I could see only partial of the deer, and then it turned and I could see the left main beam with points coming up. The way I was sitting in the tree, I was facing this way and the deer came from my right hand shoulder. I had my gun facing this way, so I turned, acknowledged the deer, and waited for it to move, and then opened the camera, turned it on. I had to bring the gun over the camera and raise it lefty. I was there for 2 minutes, and from the time the camera started to the shot is about 1:50 seconds. I waited until the deer came out, flicked the safety, and it didn't even stop the deer. He didn't even hear it. And he got to the Denvers and the buck bomb. He stopped in his tracks, looked up, and looked right at me.
Mark! I better not have missed that deer. I better not have missed that deer. I'm on the blood trail right now. There's blood everywhere. There's just one leaf. These tracks are all spread out. It's been probably 45 yards right now, so I'm gonna keep going. He's dead. I think I see him. I think he's laid down right behind that thing. Oh my God. Look at the size of that thing. He didn't even go 70 yards. Let's go take a look at this thing. That's the deer. Left him back there for a second. I'm just going to show you guys where I was and how it went down. I had a feeling that, ouch. I had a feeling that I was gonna not shoot a deer until I had the video camera running, so that's crazy that I somewhat got it on film. He didn't start bleeding good until 35, 40 yards out, so this is insane. So this is where he was when I shot. He was standing right here. Some hair, some blood. That is coated. And they probably keep that. And that big tree right there is where I was sitting. So I was sitting against that tree, facing that way. And I rattled, and he was right behind that. All I could see was the tips of his antlers, his chest, and his head. And I saw the antlers, I was like, okay, it's a buck, he's coming in. He made his way through there, and he stepped out right in that spot behind the trees. That's pretty much the shot that we had of him when I shot. And for all you kids that are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna film my hunts now, try it, but I think it's complete luck how I got him on film, or even in the frame. It's so stunning that he didn't blow and gone. But the scent, the buck bomb and the Denvers, can't believe it. So I'm gonna walk out, go get my buddy, and we're gonna come back in and get him.
Gutted the deer. Went to the nearest tagging station, and we tagged it and weighed it. It weighed in at 180 pounds with 9 points. I'm going to measure the left side G4. It's really close to an inch, but if it's an inch, it's a 10-pointer. We entered the big buck contest at the shop, and the second place right now is 155 pounds, and I'm winning with 180 pounds and a 9-point, so hopefully we get that. That'd be really cool. It's free pizza and some money. Free pizza and some money, so just got done at the weigh station. It's they counted as a 9-point, but I'm gonna say 9.5 for me. It's a 9.5 point 180 pound deer. 180 pounds, and the second place right now for biggest deer, and we tagged it in the biggest deer competition. Second place is 155 pounds. So hopefully we can hold off on the hold everybody off with 180 pounds, but we'll see. We'll go hang him up, and then I'm back to college. My facial expressions during the hunt really say it all for this, and if you've viewed other videos, you can understand why, because my season hasn't been filled with success like other people's. I have had struggles. I have missed many deer this year, and I was not going to let a deer get away from me when I had a rifle in my hand. I put a shot on the deer, and it did its job. I want to thank everybody who's viewing this. Thank you for watching this and pushing me to produce movies. I like doing it. It's fun. And if I wouldn't have the viewers in mind, I wouldn't have turned the camera on. I would have shot the deer and never had the experience on video. My facial reaction is
Up and down in there too.
Yeah, so tiny piece. Where is it? Can you point that light in there? Wow, look at that. That's the entrance, and then there's the exit. Little tiny hole.
That surprises me.
Yeah, exit right there. And this is Bill's. Doesn't that look good together?
Yeah, let's see if we can get that.
Yeah, that looks good. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's pure emotion. It's what deer hunting is about. So, Bill Brown, thank you very much for letting me hunt your property, for helping me get the deer out. And, Dad, I'm sorry I shot a bigger deer than you, but it was bound to happen sometime. So, this weekend for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna find something to do. Maybe duck hunt, jump shoot some ducks, go partridge hunting, something. Maybe I'll go try calling in another deer. Who knows? But this was one of the best days of my life. It was one of my many moments that life is worth living for, and very successful day for me. It's still a blur right now because it was a mere 7, 8, 9 hours ago. 9 hours ago right now. So right now on Maine Deer Hunters, there's 240 people that like the photo. It's the support from anybody in Maine. It's good.
We're in the garage right now at Bill's. Just getting a last look at it before I go back to college so that I can make sure it's real. Seems pretty real. Real thick hair on him. The difference between that and this is just ridiculous. It's just such a thick deer. Boy, does he have a rack on him. If it wasn't for that right there, the store would have counted it as a 10-pointer, but between Bill, me, and Julie, it's a 10. That thing is definitely a 10-pointer. Between shooting 2 spikes and a doe, that is quite the deer. I guess. Just letting it soak in, I guess. And this is Bill's deer. Nice long G2s. Nice eye guards. He's got better eye guards than this, but these are dark. If you look at that, it's just all caked with pitch of different trees he's been rubbing. The only thing that his head smells like is trees. Until the next time, thank you, Bill.
Sign off. Thank you for viewing. Like, share, and subscribe.